Orson Welles is already a myth in the world of cinema?
You're giving me questions I don't know how to answer. Tell me what to say to that. Rosebud. That is my real secret. I do not know who I am.
He said when he died they were going to pick over his bones and anything they could find, even if it was something of him privately shot with a girl in a bordello.
Who says a miss was made to kill? And when he meets one, always tries to do exactly this. Who buys the food?
Speak of me as I am.
One by one, I went to every studio head. There were no independents then. Every studio head. And they turned it down. They wanted to have lunch with him, but they didn't want to make a movie with him.
My name is Orson Welles.
Contrary to some of these television shows that try to embellish their ratings by saying he died at his typewriter, he didn't die at his typewriter. He died trying to get back into bed.
Your complete attention, if you please.
As a director, for instance, I pay myself out of my acting jobs. I use my own work to subsidize my work. In other words, I'm crazy. But not crazy enough to pretend to be free.
He said he was going to be making this film about an old filmmaker making a comeback in Hollywood, modeled on Ernest Hemingway and people like John Ford and Howard Hawks and a little bit of Mark Twain. And he talked about the character trying to make a comeback in the new Hollywood. And Welles had actually started thinking of this film in 1961 when Hemingway killed himself. He was basing it on Hemingway traveling around bullfights in Spain with a coterie of admirers and all, as he said, in love with death, decadent people who were worshiping death, and the old guy winds up dead. And but as we were, it evolved into a film story, partly due to Oya Kodar, his partner, who had written a film within the film. And then Oya brought a new emphasis on sexuality in Welles's films that he didn't have in his earlier films, which tended to avoid sex a lot. So Oya brought that theme into his work, you know. And Peter Jason, who is an actor on The Other Side of the Wind, a delightful fellow, very funny guy. Welles loved having him around because he was so funny and interesting and nice. He said Welles, what he lived for was to get up every day and go out and shoot film. And I think that's a very accurate observation.
And Orson, although it was like one of the greatest treats I ever had to work with him and be with him and watch him and be around this, he never stopped yelling at people. Orson loved to have high drama around him at all times. It was like, I think one of his geniuses was capitalizing on mistakes. There'd be an accident, and Orson would, yeah, okay, bring it in there, move that, do that, fix that, and he'd go with the accident, you know, and he capitalized on mistakes that would happen, and that's like, his genius was like spontaneous.
So he structured his life so he had 3 or 4 projects going at once, which is unusual, and he would shoot a lot of them at his home, so these were literally home movies. He had managed to arrange his life so he could shoot very cheaply. That's what he loved doing. He just loved the act of filming.
I never met Welles. Many of the people you're going to be talking to met him. So what I am saying is intuitive. I suspect he was what we would now call profoundly bipolar. immense, manic creative energy, living side by side with a feeling of absolute despair. Every time you see a Welles interview, he's ebullient. He's funny, charming, the center of attention. Every time you see a Welles film, they are about despairing, depressed people.
Of course, killing you is killing myself. It's the same thing. But you know, I'm pretty tired of both of us.
There are very few gigantic silhouettes on the horizon of fiction who are good. They are always flawed. They are always interesting because of what is wrong with them.
He did so much, and he could have done so much more. And he, even at the end, he was trying to do new things. And, you know, who knows, if chance had smiled upon him in a different way at a certain moment, there might be another masterpiece there. But how much do you want?
Oh, I'm going to go on being faithful to my girl. I love her. I fell so much in love with making movies that the theater lost everything for me, you know. I'm just in love with making movies.
Do you believe in magic?